Oh, it's so nice to have you here, Mary Ann,
Grazie.
at last.
Ciao, sono Mary Ann Esposito.
Sono Lorenza Lori.
And today I'm cooking with very dear friends in Reggio Emilia, Emilia style.
Welcome.
That's it, real fast, real fast. Come on, get that baseball arm moving. Oh, perfect.
Ok.
Okay. Non c'è ketchup.
No.
Già vedi, mi fa la foto.
Basta?
Sì.
Sono molto delicati.
Molto delicato. Grazie a lei.
Grazie Marianne, grazie a voi.
You know, my mother's favorite leftover sandwich. Come on, you're Italian. Isn't this beautiful? Look at how pretty this is. It's delicious. How do you like that? I think you're great. And now we're ready to do the twist. So, looks gorgeous, smells wonderful.
I use my hands.
I love this woman. Okay. Whenever I travel to Emilia-Romagna, I make sure that Lorenza Lori and I have time to visit together. We talk about her family, her home, and how her in-laws, Adeo and Elvira, are doing. This Sunday is a special day at the Loris because you and I are invited to have dinner with them, Reggio Emilia style. But we've got to cook it first. Hey, Lorenza.
Yes.
Now, what kind of meat are we using for the dish?
This is fillet of pork.
Okay.
You want me?
A pork fillet. So senza
No bone.
osse. Sì.
Because it's very lean,
Very
you can
lean.
see.
And this is probably going to cook in just a little bit of time, right?
Well,
because it's a tender cut.
Depends on the size of the meat. 1 hour.
1 hour
or
to do
in-
this. Okay, so this is a great company dish. And what do you call it again? How do you call the dish?
Arrosto di maiale al latte.
Okay, so this is going to be a roast pork with a sauce made from milk. And I've got my job all cut out for me here. I've got the rosemary, which you're going to use
Yes.
to...
We are adding more marinade.
Okay, so we're making this marinade with rosemary
Yeah.
and some garlic, right? I'm just going to cut this up a little bit. Rosemary and garlic. And how long do you allow it to marinate?
Well, if you are very good, you do it the night before.
So it has
the
really
night
nice
before.
flavor.
And then whenever you remember it, you just keep turning it, not at night, of course, but the
Okay.
next day you can
Turn
it so that the flavor goes to all the meat.
All the parts of the meat. Okay, so you've got the rosemary, garlic, and
And you
put
add some salt.
all right, a little bit of salt.
And then you add some olive or seed oil, depends on what you prefer.
Okay, and this is peanut oil. And you like to use peanut oil,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah.
it's a little lighter.
Yeah.
So just a little bit.
Just a little bit, because we had put some before, you know.
Okay.
It has to be enough for the meat to be
Well coated.
Well coated, yes.
Then you add this.
We add some vinegar, which is homemade
Okay,
vinegar.
let me smell that. So you make your own vinegar.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, so this is going to be extra special. Oh, it's a beautiful color too.
Yeah.
All right, so then we let it marinate for an hour.
For an hour or for one night,
And we're ready.
and we are ready.
Want me to help you?
No,
I'll
no,
take
that's
that
okay.
one.
That's
No?
okay. Yes.
Okay, good.
And then I brown it on both sides.
This takes about 5 minutes to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Okay, because we have to get it well browned before you put
Then I add
the rest of the marinade. Yes, because all the flavor is there, especially with that homemade vinegar. The color of that was
Yes.
beautiful, wasn't it?
Turn the meat now. It's
Beautiful.
nice and brown.
Beautifully browned.
The smell is good.
Yes, it is.
Yes, and you add the seasoning.
So all that,
What is left?
What's left? All that
Yeah.
extra marinade goes in.
Yeah.
This is going to be delicious.
And you have to wait for the vinegar to evaporate.
Yes.
A little bit.
Okay. And then do you lower the heat now?
No.
You leave it.
You have to, yes, the vinegar has to evaporate.
After the vinegar
Yeah.
evaporates, you lower the heat maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. That rosemary and garlic, I wish you could
the
be in
smell is very
Lorenza's
good.
kitchen. It smells delicious already.
I think it's ready now. Yes. Perfectly brown on both sides. Then I warmed up some milk before, whole milk. Yeah.
How much do you use, Lorenza, about?
Well, depends on the size of the meat. Half a liter. How
Half
much
a liter?
is it?
Maybe about 2 cups?
2 cups.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you just pour the milk inside.
Now, I think that people at home will find this really interesting because
Yeah.
it's an unusual preparation to put milk in and cook the roast in milk like that. So what's going to happen?
It makes it nicer, softer, tastier.
Makes a nice velvety sauce?
Yes, yes. And then you will see when it is done, all the water has evaporated, so you just have the milk that
Kind of coagulates
yes,
a little bit.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So now do you leave it to cook now for how long?
How long? 1 hour.
An hour?
1
Okay.
hour,
So you're
yes.
going to cover it?
Yes. I put it on a different type of
Flame, yeah. A lower flame.
Lower flame.
This looks so good.
I put it in there. If you want, you can leave half the lid.
A little bit, a jar. Yes,
so that
yeah.
it evaporates quickly, and you just.
And now we can forget that.
Yeah,
right?
that's it.
Okay, so what's
That's the
going with
idea.
that next?
Well, we are going to prepare risotto now.
Okay, let's do it.
Sure. Yes.
Okay, Lorenza, so now tell me about the sausage you're going to put with the risotto.
Okay, the sausages are made with pure pork. They
Which,
are
typical of this region.
typical of this region.
Okay.
In some of the small towns around Reggio Emilia, they say that there are more porks than people.
More pigs than people.
More
yeah.
Yes, you're right, more pigs than people.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yes, because we've enjoyed so many pork products while we've been here. So you just take it out of the casing.
Yeah.
Now, is this flavored in any way? Doesn't have pepperoncino?
No.
It doesn't have
Regular.
finocchio in it, no
Nothing.
fennel, nothing.
No,
just,
no.
just
Plain.
plain pork sausage.
Yes.
Beautiful and lean, very nice looking. Okay, so how many are you going to use?
I am going to use only 2.
2 for how
4 people.
For 4 people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that looks like it might be about a half a pound of pork sausage, and you just
Doesn't
cut it-
have to be cut regular
no
pieces.
no,
yeah,
because
you
it's
know.
going to get all
Yeah.
mixed up anyway.
Sure.
It's pretty lean, nice and
yeah,
lean.
yes.
Okay, all right.
So this
then-
is done. This
yes.
is done.
Then what?
Then you cut a slice of onion.
Want me to do that for you?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to use
Okay,
this knife.
yeah.
Okay, so you just cut the onion
Yeah.
up, just rough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small
And
pieces.
you're just
Yeah.
using a little bit of onion for this.
Yeah. Just a little bit, because sometimes if depends. There are people who don't like onion.
Who don't like onion, so you just want to add a little
You want
bit.
to flavor the oil,
oil.
and that's it.
Okay, how's that? Good?
Fine.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay,
Okay.
so.
Then you have to put the oil in the pot.
Okay, but you also have these soaking.
Oh yeah, that's right. These are mushrooms. They are dry.
So these are the
dried.
porcini.
Porcini, yes.
Wouldn't it be nice if we could
Dehydrated, you say, yeah?
Dehydrated, yes.
Dehydrated.
So there they are, the porcini. And these are expensive even in Italy, aren't
Well,
they?
yes, they are. They are.
So you soak them just in some warm
Yeah,
water?
Warm water for a while.
It only takes, what, about 20 minutes for that?
20 minutes, no more than that.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so then are you going to use the water for this too
Yes.
in the preparation?
You have to be careful because there may be some sand at the bottom, so you might either filter the water or just do like this
Yes.
and leave
Whatever sediment you
yeah.
leave behind. Good idea. All right, so now we're ready.
We're ready. We're
All
ready
right.
for.
Should I bring the meat and then you get
Sure.
the pan ready?
I get.
Okay,
I get
okay.
this onion.
So you have the onion already browned
Yeah,
and a
you can
little
see
bit of
it.
that peanut oil. Now
Then
in
you-
goes
Yeah,
the pork.
The pork, sausage.
So what you want to do is not use too much onion. You just want to flavor that oil
Yeah,
with the
the
onion.
taste, yes.
But not,
And then-
you don't want to overpower the final dish
no.
with onion. So now you just brown this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You keep stirring it until it loses the pink color. It
Yes.
gets sort of brown.
Okay,
and-
so she used about 2 tablespoons of minced onion and a half a pound of really wonderful looking pork, ground pork in the casing. However, there's no pepperoncino, no hot red pepper, and there is no fennel. It's just very plain, no seasoning. Okay, so you get this nice and browned. And what will happen after you do that?
Well, after it is all brown, I add the tomato sauce, which I warmed up in advance.
Okay, so you have tomato sauce ready to go. So this is going to be like a ragu.
Ragu, yeah.
This is going to be a ragu type sauce for the rice, for the risotto.
Okay, the meat is almost ready.
Okay.
And then you add the tomato sauce.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we have what there, that looks like about 2 cups.
Yes, yeah.
About 2 cups of a really wonderful
Very
looking,
thick, yes.
thick tomato sauce. Did you season this with anything?
Not yet, not yet. No, just warm it up.
Are you going to use basil, or you don't like to use spices in with it?
No, I just add the salt. And
Okay, that's it. How
Yeah.
simple can this be? And how long will you let that cook down?
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
So you want some of that, you want that to thicken
now,
a little
yes,
bit, yeah.
I have to put some
Salt?
Salt now.
Whoa, a little bit of salt goes in. Sale marino.
Then you don't add the salt to the rice.
All
you
right,
know?
that's a good thing to remember. So if you're putting the salt in with the sauce, you don't want to add it to the
So
rice.
you don't have to worry if it is too salty, you add less to the broth. And
Are you going to use that water that the mushrooms are
I'm
in?
going to use part of the water. Yeah, very slowly.
This is going to make this extremely rich tasting with the porcini.
See, there is not much seed at the bottom, so
Yeah.
you can go.
You
for-
can
yeah.
find dried porcini mushrooms in the States, so
That's it.
you only need to use a little though, because they're very aromatic and
And then
have a good flavor when they're
It's
soaked.
done.
So about I would
done.
say a half a cup of soaked porcini, and that's it.
that's it. You cover it
Okay.
up.
Okay, Lorenza, that is such a beautiful color that looks delicious.
Yes.
All
now
right.
it's very warm. You can add the rice, which we weighed
Okay, we have about what, 450 grams
Yeah.
of rice?
for 4 or 5 people.
Now this is going in raw.
Yeah.
Okay. And you really want that ragu to be bubbly.
Yeah.
So you just mix it all
Yeah.
in.
You want
Wow.
all the flavor to get into the rice.
Rice.
You can lower the flame a little bit.
Do you add any salt or anything now, or no? Because it's
Well,
already in the
I
ragu.
will try it later on.
Yeah, you'll
you
taste.
know,
She'll taste test
uh,
it, or maybe I'll do that part.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not that good. I don't like to test what I cook.
Yeah, you like to
I
just
always
go.
have someone
It's
else
in your
doing it.
mind how
I always
perfect
ask
it is.
my husband, taste it if it is
And
good.
he'll tell
it's
you.
enough salt or if it's extra.
Okay.
You just stir it.
And now you can't leave this alone, right?
No,
I mean, you've got to stay
no.
here and cook
Yeah.
this. Now it's going to take about 15 minutes or so.
You see, the rice is absorbing all the liquid.
The liquid, yes, it's how
So
thick it's getting.
When it gets really thick, you start with the wine
Okay.
first.
And we can use any kind of wine?
White,
White
and
wine,
dry,
dry wine.
dry, not sweet.
Okay, no sweet
No
wine,
sweet
dry white
wine.
wine. Yeah, this is a good use of leftover half bottles
Sure.
of wine that you
Sure.
have sitting around. The next day, think about making this risotto.
And it doesn't have to be terribly expensive. So I think we can go ahead with the wine, which you have to warm up a little bit.
Okay, so the wine is warm because you don't want to bring the temperature
Yeah.
down. Now you're going to let that evaporate off?
Yeah, and always stir and stir. But this is nice if you have friends, because while you stir you can talk and
and
drink.
you can have a drink of wine.
And have an aperitif,
Yes,
something.
yes.
And everybody has to be here though, because when it's cooked, you have to eat it.
We say it has to be all'onda, right?
All'onda.
on the wave. That's a Venetian expression, right?
Is it?
All'onda,
Is it?
yes, on the wave. In other words, the rice has to really be creamy and flow off the spoon. You don't want a lumpy, sticky rice. So when risotto is cooked, that's when you eat it.
I think the rice is ready, Mary. Why don't you
I'm
taste
ready.
it?
Okay, should I just sample a little bit from
One
there
point,
before?
wait,
Oh, let me
what's-
wait for. I want to make sure it's good. It's more than good. It's delicious. Yes, I'd love to. And you see how beautiful and fluid that is. That's what we mean by all'onda, right, Lorenza?
Well,
It's
I
not
think-
sticking. Well,
Yes.
here goes. Look at how beautiful that is. And the rice is not mushy. It still has a little bit of a bite left to it.
You like it?
I do. Perfetto. A perfect first course. Now the pork.
Okay, Mary Ann, the meat is ready.
Okay.
Surprise. How does it
Wow.
look?
It looks beautiful. What a nice sauce that made too. Wow.
Yes, very
I see what you
thick.
mean about the the sauce
coagulate.
congealing a little
Yeah,
bit.
yes.
All right, can we let's see what it
cut
looks like.
in
Cut.
slices.
Now this will serve about 8 people if you cut it in thin
Yeah,
slices.
yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Gorgeous. It smells really nice, the smell of the rosemary and the garlic, and it slices beautifully.
It's well cooked. You see?
Yes,
It's
yes,
all
it
white
is.
to the meat.
Beautiful. Oh, that looks great.
One more.
And this will be our secondo after the risotto.
Yes. Yes.
Lorenza?
Che piacere, come mai?
Che sorpresa. Allora,
Oh,
this is an old friend I haven't seen in a long time. Cristiana was introduced to me by Lorenza. And it's a nice surprise to have her in the kitchen.
I know. I know
We're
you
making-
want to have a try.
You want to try?
I know.
Definitely.
We just made it, and it smells delicious. Is it good? She did a good job. Oh boy. Well, I guess we're going to eat soon, right?
Why do you have your bag with you?
It's a surprise.
Surprise for Mary Ann or for me?
She knew I was coming. See?
Torta al Cioccolatino.
This is good because I had this the last time I was here. This is her famous chocolate cake. And you're going to make it?
Surprise and Buon, yes.
I'll bet.
I have
Oh my
everything to do
goodness,
it.
who else travels with a baking
Goodbye,
cake?
ladies. I'm going out to set the table.
Okay, Lorenza, bye. Christiana, this is your favorite cake, right?
Yes.
This is her favorite cake, this chocolate
like a
cake.
chocolate
it's like
candy.
a candy bar. It's not going to be a dry
Okay.
texture, but a very moist, wet texture. So I've melted about 7 ounces of butter.
chocolate
Okay.
in the bottom.
All right, so we want to melt the chocolate, so all of that goes in. E mescolare un po', sì, così, così. And if you have your...
bene?
No, va bene così, sì. And if you have the butter warm, the chocolate in small pieces, this will melt all together very, very easily. Okay, what's next?
Okay. Now I take the egg.
Now, we should tell everybody that we would say in America, you are a chocolate fiend. You like to eat chocolate, right?
Yes.
You like to eat chocolate. And that's why Cristiana works out every day, see?
Yes.
But in real life, tell them what you really do besides making these
love
beautiful
this.
cakes. Hey, che tipo di lavoro? Che tipo di lavoro?
Come?
When you work, what kind of work do you do?
Well, I work with children with very little babies.
We're very little babies. Okay.
I think they like chocolate cake too.
All right, this is nice and smooth now. So now she's separating the eggs. We have 4 egg yolks in the food processor.
I put
And
the sugar in.
Okay, that looks like it's about 7
Okay.
ounces.
And this must
We
go
have to-
very quick for a long time.
So do you want me to do it?
Yes,
Should I do
please.
it? Okay. You want to mix up the egg yolks with the sugar. Basta.
No,
No, a little bit more.
It must become like white.
Okay, so she's waiting until the color of the egg yolks changes from orange to kind of more of a lemon color.
And now
Okay.
I'm going to mix this. No,
Okay.
wait
Wait a bit. Okay, I'm in such a hurry because I want to eat this cake. Okay. And you call this again? You call it a torta di
Torta cioccolatino.
chocolatino because it's more like a candy
Take a
bar.
look. Now it's good.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's stop.
So I have to put the chocolate inside.
Okay. You want me to do it? Ooh,
Thank you.
I want to help you. Look at how beautiful that chocolate is. Okay. Tutto. I want to lick
Tutto.
the pan.
Tutto.
All right, that looks really,
That's my
really good.
work.
Yeah, you want you want to lick the pan.
Usually it's my
I said I
work.
want to lick the pan. She says I want to lick the pan. Okay.
Okay.
Now we put this back on. Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
Get that all mixed together. There's no flour in this cake at all. No. None. We're going to use egg whites that she's going to beat.
And no baking powder.
And no baking powder. No baking powder. A little bit of vanilla. A little bit of vanilla if you want to put it in. How does that look?
Ok.
Okay? Okay. E lasciala?
Lasciamo qua.
Sì, sì, okay.
Possiamo metterlo anche qui dentro.
Okay, okay, so we can either leave it there or we can put it in the bowl. So, do you want me to put it in the bowl for you?
Yes, please.
Sì, sì. Okay, all right.
You can use that.
Yes. Okay. I can see why she says this is going to be like a candy bar. Look at that. Could eat that just by itself. Okay, I'll use this. Get that all out. See? Okay, good. Okay. Okay, now you're going to do the whites. So you want to mix from the bottom, she says, get all of those egg whites mixed in well. This is what's going to leaven this cake. No baking powder. Boy, this looks good.
Okay.
Okay.
Now it's ready.
Ready. It's ready like
Yes,
this.
it's
Okay.
ready.
You have your pan here. I thought this was a neat trick. You see she has parchment paper in the pan that she wet first, crumbled it up, wet it, and then shaped it to the pan. Oh, beautiful.
And good.
And good. That I know.
Not only beautiful.
Okay, not only beautiful, but good. And you spread it around.
Okay. And now, one of the secrets is that the oven must be cold when you put it inside.
It's another trick. This is going into a cold oven.
And the sweet goes up and down.
And up and down, it should be flat. So, how many minutes?
About 20 minutes from the moment when you put in the oven, and then you leave the cake to warm just 10 minutes, and then you put in a refrigerator.
After you take it out of the oven, you put it in the refrigerator.
No, just half an hour you can keep on the table.
Oh.
And just not too hot.
Not too hot. And then you want to cut it when it's
cold, because if not, it crumbles.
It crumbles, yes, it crumbles. Okay, well, we're ready to put it in the oven, so let's go.
Let's go.
Brava, signora Cristiana, brava. Oh, how beautiful that looks. It does. It looks wonderful.
How many calories?
The first piece is for me. That looks beautiful. It did sink down some, so it's wonderful. What a perfect ending to a meal with friends in Reggio Emilia. First, we had that beautiful risotto that Lorenza made with the pork sausage. And then we had the pork cooked in a sauce with milk. And now we are having Cristiana's chocolate cake. It doesn't get any better than this. And until I see you nella cucina again, sono Mary Ann Esposito.
Sono Lorenza Toni.
Sono Cristiana Magnani.
Ciao!
Ciao!
I'm in the Cappella di San Fiorenzo. And this is one of those little gems when you're traveling around in little towns that all of a sudden is a big surprise, because outside of the town of Bastia exists this cappella. And you come in here and all of a sudden you're just overwhelmed by what you see, because on these walls are frescoes, and many of them tell stories of saints, but particularly tell a story of San Fiorenzo and his life. And he was someone who was dedicated to the military in his early life, and then he decided, well, his military career did not coincide with what he believed as a Christian, and so he was eventually martyred, and this church is dedicated to him. And you can see some of the miracles that he worked depicted in the frescoes. And what's so astounding about this is, even though some of them are in very bad condition, the ones that are in good condition are just vibrant with color. And you probably don't know this, but originally frescoes like this, which you find in churches all over Italy, large churches, small churches, and little cappellas like this,
were meant to tell a story to people who could not read. So the story of the Old Testament, the story of the New Testament, the story of people like San Fiorenzo becomes real to people who had no other way of understanding what their faith meant to them.